Hello everyone, this is Professor Patterns, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can make use of both Cline as well as the Continue tool to really supercharge your development. So let's go ahead and get started. First, let me show you how I use them both in combination. So I have a project that's open, and here within this project, all I have is a data set. It's called diabetes.csv. All it is a CSV file where I have a bunch of different input features, and I'm trying to predict if someone has diabetes or not. So I'm trying to create a machine learning model. First, I'm going to go to Cline, and then within Cline, I'm going to ask it a specific set of instructions. So the prompt is basically, I have a data set. Can you build a really simple logistic regression model to predict if a person has diabetes or not? And now Cline is going to start building this application for me. So you'll see that it is going to start writing in that script. And then once that's done, I should have this pretty much ready. So it's completed, and now the API wants to run this code. So it did also run this code. After running, it should be able to show my performance of this model. And there we go. So a machine learning model from scratch without me writing a single line of code. However, what if I wanted to improve on this model a little bit more? Say instead of rewriting the entire script, all I wanted to do was just to modify a specific section of the code. Well, I can't really do that in Cline because Cline will look at my entire code base. However, I could do that with Continue. So all Continue is a tool where we can modify specific sections of the code. So here I can highlight this section of the code, and then I can either edit the highlighted code by hitting Control I, and let's start with that. And I'm simply going to type in, change the split size to 20%. And here it's going to change that, and then it's going to ask me whether or not I want to accept the change. I'm simply going to accept this change and see that the test size now went from 30% to 20%. If I wanted to maybe get some insight into specific parts of the code, well, I can highlight that and then hit Control L to add that to Continue. And then here I can say, explain this part. And then again, it's going to only look at that specific section and then give you an explanation. So this is one way in which you can make use of both Continue and Cline together. It's not one tool over the other. It's really specific tools for specific applications. If you want a tool that will write an entire script from you from start, then I would use Cline. If I want to only modify specific sections of the code or maybe add some comments somewhere in the code, then for that, I might just use Continue. So how do we actually install Continue? Well, Continue is simply an extension that we can find on VS Code. Now, if you don't have VS Code installed, then I'm going to add a video card, watch that video, then come back to this one. So all I did was in the marketplace, I searched for Continue, and I simply downloaded the first one. Now, once you have it downloaded, you're going to be provided with this interface where you can then add a chat model. So if you have an API from Claude or from OpenAI or whatever, you can simply add that in here. So I have an Anthropic API. So I simply clicked Anthropic, and then here I added in my API key. Now, suppose that you wanted to do some local development. Say that you didn't have an API from Anthropic or you didn't have an API from OpenAI. So you wanted to use a completely local model where you've downloaded all of the weights. Well, for that, you can use something like Ollama. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is to go to this page here and then simply download Ollama. Once Ollama is done downloading, when you run Ollama, there's no interface that you're going to see. All you'll see is just something that's running here. Now, since Ollama is running, I can simply open up my command prompt window, and then here I can type in Ollama. So I can see that there are a bunch of different commands that are available. Let's just run list. List simply says it lists all the available models. So Ollama, and then list. So here I can see all the models that I currently have downloaded to my computer. Now, suppose that you wanted to download an existing model. Well, all you would do is select that model, like Llama 3.3, go back to Ollama, and then simply type in Ollama, pull, and then the name of that model. Once you run this, it's going to start pulling down that model. And now that the model has been pulled, I can go back to VS Code. Here I can type in my provider as Ollama, and then model as auto-detect. When I hit connect, I should be able to see all of the models that I have currently downloaded. So let's just say I use the Llama 3.2 model, and maybe I want to modify a specific section of the code like this one. I'm going to highlight this, hit Control I, and then say something like change the test set split to 40%. And just like how it ran with the Claude API, here it's running with the Llama 3.2 model. Now, the advantage of running all of these models locally is the fact that you're not paying for any API usage. All of the weights for these models are downloaded on your computer. It's only using the resources of your computer. So even if you didn't have internet, you'll still be able to use this. It's also great for privacy reasons, right? You're not actually sending your data anywhere. That data only resides on your computer. And that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you all for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, then please like. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out. If you want me to make similar videos in the future, then please leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.